I put the microphone on this time. When I learn languages these days, anyway, I almost exclusively use apps. I just find that they're easier because I can have them on my phone, so when I'm traveling or if I'm out and about or if I'm staying with family and I'm not at home, I can still learn stuff and I can still, you know, make a little bit of progress. But obviously that wasn't always the case, and when I was a kid, we'd always have these phrasebooks, and I 100% think they're a great little essential to have. I mean, I guess Lonely Planet wouldn't be minted if they weren't. I do tend to take them with me when I travel. I say we, because she's here with me too. Honestly, we don't find ourselves using them as much because usually we have internet access, and so if there's a specific phrase that we need, then we'll just look that up. But it's always good to have a travel book handy, and I 100% stand by travel books. I really do, because they're a really useful little thing to have. We have two. We have one for Europe and we have one for Eastern Europe, and we have a bunch more at home, but obviously we don't have one for Russian yet, but for the time being this will do. I figured, since I'm setting myself a challenge for Russian, I thought, why don't I actually use something that I don't typically use, which is a book. So because I've only really just begun to familiarize myself with the alphabet, what I'm gonna do is basically run through the really basic phrases like yes, no, please, thank you. Really, really simple ones before we move into, you know, phrases and questions and stuff like that. I think seeing them and remembering the words themselves will then allow me to remember the sounds that each letter makes, and I'll go from there. So yes is da, and no is niet. Now those are probably the two Russian words that I already knew, purely because I watch a lot of spy movies, action movies, and they always tend to sort of stereotype the Russians as the bad guy in that. I will occasionally hear them say da or niet. So please is пожалуйста, which is really intimidating when you look at it because it just, lots of shapes. Thank you is spasiba. I guess the basics like please and thank you, and being a British person, we're very big on our manners, so it's imperative that those are like the first things we learn in any language before we go somewhere. And you're welcome is also пожалуйста. Now I actually noticed this in a few countries. I noticed it in Germany, I noticed it in the Netherlands, I noticed it in Czechia and a couple of other places I've been to. When I say thank you and they say you're welcome, their variant of you're welcome is almost always the same word for please, which is incredibly interesting to me. I don't know if it's just a European thing. I've never been to Asia or Africa or South America, or in fact any continent outside Europe and North America really, so I don't know if it is a something that's just in European culture, if it's used elsewhere, but I think it's really interesting, and I guess it makes it a lot easier. But if you say this in your language and I haven't mentioned it yet, let me know, because honestly I'd just love to see how many actually do that, because I think that's so fascinating. So there's da, niet, пожалуйста, and spasiba. So I've learned 4 words already. I mean, that's it, I can just call it a day now. Alright, see you guys later, bye. Now in the essential sections of the phrasebook we've also got excuse me and sorry, which appear to be the same phrase, which is Извините, пожалуйста. So obviously, I guess it's like an excuse me please type thing, so at least they know I'm being polite. Извините, thank God for pronunciation, guys, Jesus Christ. Извините, пожалуйста. So Toya's going to test me on the words I just learned and see if I can remember them. I haven't actually really memorized the spellings of them yet. My eye was mainly drawn to the pronunciation, but I think once I know I can remember them, then I will get down to writing them.
What is yes?
Da.
What is no?
Нет.
What is you're welcome?
Пожалуйста.
What is excuse me?
Извините, пожалуйста.
And thank you.
Спасибо.
What's большое?
Very much?
Yeah.
I didn't learn that one, but I read it in the book briefly. So yeah, we've established I have a memory. That's good, great. So what you're gonna see now is me writing the words down, and I'm gonna keep that bit of paper on me and sort of just look at it every day. I'm gonna write the pronunciation next to it as well, just in case, like with some of the longer words I know it's gonna still be a bit of a struggle. I think tomorrow we can probably get on to slightly more convoluted things like phrases, and then in a few days maybe some questions, but I'm just going to kind of play it by ear and sort of see what works out for me, because I don't think I've structured this very well. So in the meantime, thank you very much for watching. I will see you tomorrow. One of these days I will say that in Russian, but it is not going to be today. Alright.